So we think that might be part of the mill, and the mill was here, but it's been torn down, and this was a motel, but it's closed. No vacancy because it's closed, but yet they have chairs out and flowers taken care of. So maybe somebody uses it as a house now, and it's not a guest house. So we're going to check out the town and go back to Cedar Falls. Well, we definitely want to go through that preserve. This is Monday, remember? And Cottonwood Falls doesn't have much going on. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of stone buildings here. And right behind me is a very beautiful courthouse. There's a historical marker over there. I'm guessing it's probably close to 1900. We have a cannon over there on the corner. I'm going to drive up there because we should know when this was built. Very cool. Very European looking. Cottonwood Falls has been the Chase County seat since both town and county were established in 1859. The first log cabin courthouse was replaced in 1873, with which today is the oldest Kansas courthouse still in use. Prospects for Cottonwood Falls received an early setback when it was bypassed by the Santa Fe Railroad, called Cottonwood. But in 1881, it and the community which grew up around it was renamed Strong City. The Twin Cities situation led to one of the state's first interurban systems. However, service between the two towns began in 1887, and this courthouse square was the southern terminus of the 2-mile railroad in 1918. And the county converted to the 2-mile converted to the gasoline-powered motor car. But the track that served well for the however long could not handle the heavier and faster equipment, and improved technology in this instant only created difficulty. In 1919, the interurban ceased operation. Oh, that was a little railroad track. Well, we have come to the National Tall Grass Preserve. So here we have the stone wall, which is in very good condition, so I know it's not that old. And then we have, which would be the farmer's residence behind that tree, more stone walls. And then you have this beautiful barn. And the silo and more stone. Fences. And then if we continue, there's the visitor's center. And you can, I'm sure you have to pay, and you can walk on the trails in the tall grass. I mentioned that the trails run all the way down to Cottonwood Falls and Strong City. But let's get back to the barn. Now, I've seen architecture like that in southern Germany. the Bavarians, and there's another area. They build houses and barns with that type of roof, how it slopes down on the very top. So, or maybe Northern European, but I would guess it's German. So we're not going to do anything but make this video, and then we're going to go back, and we have Hermit's Cave to go to yet. Okay, let's wrap this up. So the house does not look German. It looks colonial. But there's some other...
Evidently you can drive up there.
You can drive around. We probably can go in with... So this is a bur oak. And I'm going to tell you about it. And there's another tree here also. So the bur oak that you were looking at sprouted in 1776. This hardwood tree was part of the original grove that provided shelter and wood for wagon repairs for travelers on the Santa Fe Trail. The grove was a continuous strip of timber near 1 mile in width with a rich variety of trees. The town of Council Grove is named for this grove of wood. Then we have this thing here. It's pretty important because they've got it all fenced off. Now it says, let me back out here, Custer's Elm. Okay, let's back off. General George A. Custer, an element of the 7th Cavalry, camped beneath this tree in 1867. The south portion of this park is part of a 120-acre farm bought by General Custer and Amos Kimball in 1869. Well, how do you like that? Huh. So down the steps and on the rock in front of you is a small recess. For a few months in 1863 it was home to a religious mystic, Giovanni de Agostini, born in 1801 in Novara, Italy. He was the son of a nobleman and received a fine education in preparation for the priesthood, but reportedly was forced to leave Italy after falling in love with a young lady. Here in Council Grove he was known as Father Francesco. He left Council Grove with a Santa Fe Trail wagon owned by Don Eugenio Romero and captained by Dionisio Gonzalez, walking the entire 550 miles to Las Vegas, New Mexico. There he is said to have performed miracle cures which attracted crowds. He retreated to a nearby mountain. Alright, so let's go look at this thing. That was a little stressful coming down here, but I didn't have to come very far. So this is what the guy stayed in for several months. Now that ain't a hell of a lot of shelter. And it's not really worth the walk down here. So we're going to go find a place. Maybe we'll have a beer and some French fries. What the hell? How did this happen? So my battery just went dead and I'll finish up my story. So the frame would be run through this special machine that laminated the fiberglass to the aluminum. And in the space was styrofoam between each side of the laminated fiberglass. And that's got a special name that I can't remember the name of. Well, the front cap, this thing right here, was fading. All the brown ones, they didn't get the paint and pigment correct, and the top would start to fade and oxidize. And then I noticed after about 5 years, one side, not this side, the other side would start oxidizing. So I spent a lot of money to buy a special cleaner and to get rid of the oxidation. It was hundreds of dollars, and the oxidation just kept coming back. And then Forest River said that they would pay $1,000 to have the front cap painted. But to paint that was $2,500. So I went and had a wrap put on it, which is a plastic, and that was only $800. Well, one day I was doing some maintenance, and you see these seals, they get hard and brittle, and then they crack, and they don't do their job. So I bought some stuff, and I sprayed it on there, and it smelled just like WD-40. And so I got them side by side, and I decided it was WD-40. And of course, when you spray it, you get some on the side on the fiberglass, and I noticed that it would brighten up, get rid of the oxidation. So now, after it sits a while, it'll start to oxidize, get dull looking. And I just take and spray it. Well, first I wash it, and then I spray it with WD-40. And it fixes it. Except the back. See, the back I used the special, and it screwed it up. You can see it looks. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So that's my story. I now wash my my whole camper with WD-40. It makes it look nice. I have a brush and I just wash it, spray it. So there's some more historical things in the Council Grove. When I looked on Google Earth, I use Google Earth a lot to determine where I want to go. It looked like there was nothing there, as far as sightseeing. And we still have some more. We're gonna go look at. And so this girl right here, you see that? Can you see that dog? Right there, that dog is being difficult. She's not eating well. She's very persnickety, that dog. And she's very thin. So we got an information sign up there, but right now we got this guy. He's called the Guardian of the Grove. I thought maybe he was the chief, but he's not. He's just, this is interpreted by the sculpture that made him. The peace pipe stands for honesty and goodwill. And the robe around over the shoulder means that guy is one to speak. And the four folds represent the four winds. Okay, very interesting. So now let's go look what that information sign says. So the sawtooth oak was dedicated as a tree of peace in 1992, this tree here, due to American Indians carrying an eternal flame to the four borders of the United States. It was a symbol of reconciliation. Then it goes on to say, in the 15th century, chiefs of the Mohawk, Onondaga, Oneida, Cayuga, and Seneca tribes met beneath a towering evergreen tree, tree of peace, envisioned by the Huron prophet de Ganawida. There they reconciled their differences and formed the Iroquois Confederacy, based on principles of justice and equality. And there are some that say, based on the Iroquois Confederacy, our U.S. Constitution has some link to it. Okay, so you can walk along the river. You can walk all the way to the Kaw Mission historical building that I filmed at the very beginning. So here we have a building that was built in 1857 as a store. And as you can see, the sign says, the Last Chance Store. So the pioneers that were leaving Council Grove in their wagons, this was the last stop for 2 days before they would get supplies again. And the next stop would be from here. Does it say the next supply? It doesn't say, but it took 2 days to get there. And then they would leave the safety and security of Council Grove, and they would be venturing into the homelands of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, Comanche, Kiowa, and Plains Apache Indians, who some were not very friendly. Anyway, said the traders went on the Santa Fe Trail were wise to consider this store's slogan, last chance for beans, bacon, and whiskey. Okay, that's all I have for here. Well, good morning. It's the 18th of September. We're here at Council Grove Lake. We're all packed up and we're ready to go back home. So it's cloudy, a little cool, about 69, 70 degrees, and we're ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed this. As you can see, I got a different truck.